Warm welcome to the most authoritative sporting channel here on social media. This is your boy Matt. Today's episode is focused on Errol the True Spence Jr. and Keith one-time Thurman. I think that this is a very interesting matchup in which the PBC must look at. Errol the True Spence Jr. is a former unified welterweight champion. So is Keith one-time Thurman. I think that this matchup would be a good comeback fight for both pugilists. Errol the True Spence Jr. has been out of the ring for about 1.5 years, whilst Keith Thurman in February would hit 3 years out of the ring as he has struggled with loads and loads of injury. Errol the True Spence Jr. has also not been the same since the car accident. He has had a retinal surgery, which most people suggest that affected him in the Crawford fight. But I am saying that Crawford is just one special fighter and is on a different level from all other boxers in the world as of now. But with regards to Keith one-time Thurman, he is also struggling with lots of arm injury, which is making him not able to step into the squared circle and make a living for himself. So if he has stayed off the ring for several years after his fight with Zoo was cancelled because he wasn't able to make it into the ring healthy, I think that it is about time Keith also gets a payday and face Errol the True Spence Jr. and both men would be able to settle their beef in the ring. And what is their beef about? Errol the True Spence Jr. called out Keith one-time Thurman when Keith was a unified champion, holding, I think, the WBA and the WBC welterweight championship as at that time. But Errol the True Spence Jr. was turned down by Keith, as Keith stated that he was chasing the likes of Floyd Money Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao because they were the headline names of the big marquee names in the division as at that time, as Errol was just an uprising talent. Errol the True Spence Jr. later became a unified champion, and the fight was made between him and Keith Thurman. Errol the True Spence stated categorically that he was not going to honor the fight because of what Keith did to him when he was nobody, and whilst he was on top of his game, having unified 3 belts besides the WBO, as at that time he wasn't going to give Keith one-time Thurman a title opportunity. So both men are in kind of the same crisis, and a good comeback fight would be to face each other. It may not be a pay-per-view worthy fight, but these guys have decent record. Errol the True Spence Jr. has fought 29 times, winning 28, losing 1, whilst Keith one-time Thurman just have 1 loss on his record out of his 31 fights. So I think that this is a perfect fight and it would be good financially. So I think that the matchmakers at PBC should be looking at this fight as a potential good card for the middle of 2025. I think that most boxing fans are going to tune in to watch this particular fight because Keith one-time Thurman would be doing the selling and Errol the Spence Jr. would be responding equally to Keith one-time Thurman. And I don't think that this fight should happen at the welterweight division, as both men are aging now and are struggling to make the welterweight limit. So I predict that the fight should move up to 154, which is the super welterweight division, and that is how we can get the best out of both men. Floyd had already suggested that for Errol the True Spence Jr., he should be fighting in the middle weight division proper. That is when we can get the best out of him. But I don't see Spence to be that big per the current middleweights in the division right now. But I think that Keith versus Errol the True Spence Jr. would be a fantastic fight, and I am advocating for the matchmakers to give us such a good fight, and there would be a lot of grudge and it would be quite entertaining. It will do good, it will do decent numbers, about 200,000 when you put it on pay-per-view, depending on how well you market it. But if you want a lot of people to tune in, then I don't think that you should put such a fight on pay-per-view. This is my take on Errol the True Spence Jr. comeback versus Keith one-time Thurman potential comeback. If this is the type of content you do enjoy on social media, this is the right channel to be. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, express your views in the comment section, and share this particular video with anyone who loves boxing. Thank you. Remember, your greatness has no limits.